Come on, go open the door.
Oh my god.
It's only a couple of cave crickets, dude.
Look at the water there. Oh my god.
They're not that big. Is this job really worth it? Come on, go. Let's go. Open the door. Jared, go open that fucking door right now. Jared, I'll push you down those stairs in 2 seconds if you don't go open that door. Get that fuck down there.
I'm gonna flip out.
I'm gonna throw a rag on and make him all jump on you if you don't open the door. Go, go.
I'm gonna flip.
Come on, just go, you big baby. I don't know why you're not taking the vacuum with you, because then you're gonna come back up and get the vacuum. Come on. I only got a minute on this TikTok. I'm at 50 seconds, so hurry up. Come on, let's go.
Oof.
Come on, go open the door.
Oh my god.
It's only a couple of cave crickets, dude.
Look at the water there. Good morning. Good morning. We are live from the Hive. Hello, hello. Hope everybody is doing well. It is Saturday, October 22nd, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So we are alive in a Saturday morning. It's actually a beautiful, gorgeous morning here today. It was a nice day yesterday, too. Great October day. Let me know if I can be heard all right and if everything is coming through okay. Good morning to Sandy and Greg and who else we got here? Green Soul, good morning. Jaded Atheist, hello Jade. Ring is here. Yo, yo, yo. Oh. And Vandalia, who I am hanging out with tonight. We're going to talk about some sad cinema. So that is something that's coming up this evening. If you want to hang out with me again later, I'm going to be over there on Vandalia 1998. I'm going to be listed. We're all going to be listed. I think there's three of us coming on the show, but we're all going to be listing our three saddest movies that made us cry. So if you want to know how to make Brie cry, you go over there and you take notes, and you'll know how to squeeze some tears out of me. I hope you all liked the little intro video. I just thought it was hilarious that someone could be afraid of cave crickets. Now I'm not mocking anybody for having a phobia. But learning a little bit about cave crickets, or they're not crickets for real. They're completely different. They are a completely different family of insects. Actually, a super family, because they're so broad reaching. They cover every corner of the globe pretty much. Any place where there's someplace subterranean that's moist and has a stable temperature for them to breed in, they just take off. I actually have some behind me in one of my aquariums. I have one that I caught in the basement, in with the giant Madagascar hissing cockroaches right now, because I think the moisture in there should be enough to keep them alive. Yeah, so that's something that's coming up tonight. Is that movie deal? So definitely stick around, hang out for that. And oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I got an echo now. Okay, there we go. That should have fixed it. Yeah. Hey Gabby. Hi Saeed. Saeed, I remember seeing you. In was that Gur stream? Yeah, you are the Islamic gentleman from India. Very different from the Islamic world that we are used to seeing. But yes, please enjoy the show. I do like this is kind of a variety show that I do on Saturday mornings. For the new folks here, because it looks like there are a couple of new names popping up for me. This is live from the Hive. My magnum opus of morning shows that I've been doing every Saturday for over almost 2 years now. And it's changed and evolved over time, but it does have a central platform. We do segments on stuff that I like to talk about. Most of the stuff is stuff that I'm skeptical about, that I enter the world as a skeptic. The first section is called CryptoCorner. We talk about claims that aren't necessarily religious or faith based, but are more evidential based, like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster. We talk about UFOs, ghosts, magic spells, curses, things like that. Uh, that are kind of separate from necessarily having any specific religious inclinations. But this subject we're doing for Cryptic Corner today will kind of toe that line, but we'll get there in a minute because that's why this is the Omega episode. First, I just want to let people know what the show's all about here. So, essentially, like supernatural or science fiction things. Sometimes we'll have like time travel or what would we have, the interdimensional portals and things like that. So you never know. You never know what we're going to be popping in. Bugbot is on still on vacation. They should be back. Bugbot is pretty lazy right now. So Bugbot will be back, Vandalia. Don't worry. So you can sting whoever you want then, or have Bugbot sting whoever you want. Yeah. That's another thing too. We're almost to 800. Check that out if you are not subscribed. I am just like a couple of subscriptions away from 800. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing here. The next segment on the show used to be strictly CONSERVAPEDIA, where we looked through CONSERVAPEDIA articles and had a good go at them. I've branched that out to be just the Creation Watch in general. It is what the Creationist ministries and organizations and channels are out there, what they're putting out into the world for people to consume. That's what Creation Watch focuses on. So things do cross those lines. We do get creationist organizations putting out things on Bigfoot. I'm serious. They put out things on Bigfoot and aliens and stuff like that, and those that kind of toe the line. And we're going to see something like that today. But so the second segment is Creation Watch, and then finally we cleanse the palate with some HiveScience news, which will be something environmental, some scientific discovery, some historical fact about science, or about animals. Sometimes we'll have a spotlight animal. We used to do Bug of the Week. We will get back into that when I get a better computer. Right now, I don't have my good computer, and I'm on a laptop that just doesn't support the systems I need to run Bug of the Week properly. So that we will get back to that, I promise. I promise it's in the workings. Good morning, Randy. It's good to see you today. And see John popping in, and Dee. Yeah, good to see everybody. Everybody coming in to say hi. Yeah, so that's the layout of the show. Another topic I wanted to cover. I don't know how many of you all follow the Lavender Lady on YouTube, but she's a small channel, a little bit smaller than mine, but she's a wonderful lady. She's been doing dialysis for a few years now, and she is we're just she's ready for a kidney, but she was in the hospital recently, and I know some people were worried about her. She is back home. She got back home yesterday. So if anybody's concerned about the Lavender Lady, we did a fundraiser for her back in the spring to help out, but she is out of the hospital. She is doing well now. Or not doing well. She should say she was doing well. She says she's doing better now than she's been in a long time. When she was streaming last night, Savage Minnow was down there, or up there. I guess for me, it's up there. He's up there keeping her company for the weekend. So that is what's going on in my little community. Let me think. Is there anything else I wanted to cover? No, besides that Skylar Fiction's back. I like that Skylar's back. I've been popping in and watching Skylar's stuff. I did try to go and hang out with Skylar and politics and religion Discord, but unfortunately, as a trans woman, I do not last long in those discussions. I was discussing Gaianism and atheism with Darth for 3 minutes a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire real quick," and then he asked me about my birth certificate. So that derailed the conversation when I told him that I didn't know. That's not, it's not something I'm going to talk about. He kicked me and called me a liar. So I can't he's not going to talk to me. And then and I tried again when I was on there with Skylar the other night, when they were talking about the serpent in the Bible. I actually got into it a couple of minutes before they started litmus testing my Bible knowledge. They said, he said, "Do you like the Bible?" And I said, "Yeah, I love the Bible. It's one of my favorite books." You all know I love mythology. It's good that the Bible has preserved this mythology of ancient Near East culture so well that we can know a lot about it. I really like the Bible. I like the Old Testament specifically. The New Testament I don't really like too much, but that's because the New Testament, to me, it reads like a Mary Sue fan fiction. Like, oh, let's take the framework of this Old Testament and we're going to build this amazing superhero character called Christ on top of it. I'm not saying that Christ wasn't based on a real prophet or whatever. I'm not going to get into the mythicist argument, but that's what the New Testament is to me. It's like they made a superhero, like a Superman character, to live in the world of the Old Testament and change it to a new dynamic that better suited the culture at the time. I don't know, but it's the New Testament is a softer, gentler book compared to the Old Testament. That's no doubt. However, being kicked is an absolute compliment. I just wish I was getting kicked for dunking on him like I did when like when he called in to the perspective back when I was brain bug and we talked and I dunked on him. He tapped out, but I don't want to get kicked because what they assume that the contents of my britches are, what they assume is up under the skirt is none of their business. Let's keep the conversation on track. He called me a drag queen though, which is kind of funny because I've said it before on here and I'll say it again that drag queens are, and it's not their fault. They're a bit of a trigger for me because when I realized that I was trans back when I was like 13, I mean, I didn't, there wasn't a word that I had for it. I just realized that, oh my God, I want to be a woman so bad. Wish I could be, when I grow, I could be a woman and have, yeah. Anyway, the fact that someone in at that time, the only men who wanted to be women or dressed like women were the drag queens in our culture here in the Midwest. So I didn't have any positive outlook on what that would look like if I did grow up and decided I wanted to be a woman instead of trying so hard and failing to be a man. But anyway, so the drag queens became a trigger for me. I didn't like looking at them and I didn't like seeing them because it was something that I felt inside that I thought was icky and gross and something to be laughed at and mocked that I couldn't tell anybody about ever. So drag queens became a bad trigger for my dysphoria. the trigger, the drag queens were the trigger that had the lich pin that held it in place for 20 years because it's only been since the cultural shift of the last 10 years that I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't have to be seen as this drag queen with big rubber boobs and all this stupid. Well, I don't say it's stupid. It's a performance art, and I get that. It's a performance. It's an act they're doing. I understand. But for me, it was a trigger, and it became a psychological trigger. So it's kind of funny that someone would say, "Hey, you're a drag queen," when that's like the first. I try to distance myself from that imagery, to be frank. All right, that's enough housekeeping and me whining about my triggers. But also for anybody who's new out there, I'm very mental health awareness positive. I talk about my mental health on the channel quite a bit. I hope that's not a trigger for anybody. Talk about different diagnoses that I've had in the past, and I'm open about it because I want to end the stigma around it. We can all function and be productive members of society despite whatever medical conditions we are working on within our own body, whether that be in our brain or in our in our feet. It doesn't matter, anywhere between the two. If you're struggling with mental health stuff, I'm here with you. Yeah, drag queens are totally different than transgender, and I understand that. It was just the culture in the country at the time. All right, so I'm not gonna hold things up any longer talking about this stuff, because I discovered a new channel, and oh boy, are they out there? Let me introduce you to. Let me hold on here because I'm gonna get it blowed up before I share it this time because it messes with it when I don't. Okay, I don't know what it is about on here, and I'm just still not used to it. It's like when now you have to share the tabs in order to be able to share the sound. So anyway, there we go. This is Alpha and Omega Productions. Most of their videos, and I've looked through a few, consist of like audio of sermons, but also interviews with people, evangelical-minded people, about just the world today, and lamenting the coming of Jesus has not arrived yet to save the righteous and smite the wicked and all that good stuff. So that's the majority of the channel, not exactly content. And they put it over like a slideshow of videos, short videos that sometimes they steer the sermon based on the visuals. And we're going to talk about some of the psychology at work here for the audience. But this is a brand new channel, and this video specifically is actually going to fall into my cryptic corner category, specifically because this is the claim that CERN is opening up portals to hell. So if you're interested in finding out about that, scientists at CERN won't admit it when science fiction is no longer science fiction. All right. Are we ready?
Of what I've already described.
No,
That's
it's jumping ahead to the last place I was. There we go. We're gonna start from the beginning. How fast do I got this going? 1.75. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit.
Let's first talk about CERN and the Large Hadron Collider.
Put it down to
People have heard about
1.5.
that,
But it's a
or most
long
people have,
video.
so I've seen pictures of.
It's a long video, so I'm gonna keep it at we're gonna keep it at least 1.5. I might drop it down to 1.25 when they get to the portal stuff, but we got to get through a lot of preamble here first. And the preamble is important to the final claim, and we are going to explore some of the aspects of the final claim as we move along. So, with all that in mind, let us continue.
Of it and all kinds of speculation and theories. Give us a quick definition first, just from a purely scientific point of view, what the purpose, what the collider is, what its purpose is.
Okay. Well, the scientific purpose is to take particles and accelerate them towards reaching the threshold with the speed of light, and to then collide them, fracturing them into smaller particles for the purpose of trying to determine the basis for creation, trying to find the building blocks of the universe and all known life.
I don't know if you can find any evidence that CERN has ever claimed to be looking for the origins of life in their experimentation. Of course, I'm welcome to be proven wrong. Please prove me wrong on that. But that's my claim. Yeah, but this is not a new concept either. So this stuff's been around since like 2015 about CERN. But continuing on, we're less than a minute in, barely less than a minute, but still of a 51-minute video, and I have a lot to get through here, and it's going to be a wild ride. So buckle in. Show Me Sasquatch. This is right up your alley too. We're talking about some extra dimensional Illuminati underground stuff. It's going to get wild.
And that's what science will tell you in the public arena. But where my research has led me is into the hidden agenda at CERN. And that's really been my calling from the Lord, is to really reveal the truth behind the public agendas at CERN, which is a nuclear research facility utilizing a particle collider.
Now, it's in a giant, somewhat circular shape that covers, how many miles is that whole collider?
Yeah, as you travel along it, you cover 27 miles,
27 miles.
kilometers. Well, geographically on the map, it's located on the border between Switzerland and France. It's near Geneva. It's a sovereign state unto itself.
What's a sovereign state?
That would be a self-governing body,
So
much like the Vatican.
So the collider, I never heard this before. The collider is in its own state, like the Vatican,
And similar to Washington, D.C., the District of
wow.
Columbia.
So it's based on, I guess, their theory or research or whatever that.
And I mean, that's the, if so far nothing wrong has been said about this, but there's just it's laying the groundwork for conspiracy. So, because he was like, but in my research, I've discovered this, and then says things that are like well known, but they're pretending it's just being kept hush hush. You don't have to go far to learn that that CERN is, you know, of its own I don't know, autonomy in Europe, because it's you know, it's funded by all these different nations to do these experiments that it's doing. That's not a secret, but if they make it sound like there's something duplicitous going on there, it adds to the that people experience.
Crack open atomic, subatomic particles. Just crack them open. They're saying, at least publicly, that they can find the secrets to the origins of the universe, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But you say that this is not like speculation. It's from your research. You're saying that behind the scenes, they have a hidden agenda.
And that's not true that that we can understand the way that particle physics worked. We can now we got you know, a controlled environment where we can experiment with particle physics and understand some of the reactions that these atoms have, that these particles have under these environmental pressures, and how they react, and how that may have helped form the universe that we live in today. We can know more about it than, you know, now. This is like similar to doing like a reconstruction of a fossil to understand how the environment was like at that time.
They're not admitting to the public.
That's correct.
Tell us what your research leads you to believe their hidden agenda is.
Well, it's interesting because today it is no longer hidden. They are not hiding their goals. In fact, they're pronounced in a pronounced fashion announcing it. Last year, the previous director of the Collider facility announced that their goal openly is to open a dimensional gateway to another dimension. You might call it a portal. And when you begin to put that in the context of our everyday reality, that seems absurd. And he also made the statement that we don't know what we will find or what may come through from the other side, but we're willing to risk it.
This is mind-blowing. So we're not talking even really about your research. We're not talking about speculation. So Anthony, this is not conspiracy theory. This is the published statement of the former head of CERN, and he's talking about. Did he use the word entity? What word did he use?
No, he did not use the word entity. Oh my goodness! Out of this door might come something, or we might send something through it. Yeah, nothing about entities or anything like that, or that. Oh my goodness!
No, he didn't assign a title to what might come through. He just that he didn't know what would come through.
He didn't know what would come through. So that's kind of ominous.
It is.
We're cracking open a hole in this dimension. Am I correct?
Yep.
And we don't know what would come through. From your research, tell us what you think he was implying, and what has your research revealed about what's really going on?
Well, the research has revealed that they're already in communication with the other.
That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, so you can have big fancy glasses over a screen mask. I can't wait to see that. Make sure you share that in the Hive too. We're going to do a costume contest in the Hive. So if anybody is part of the Hive on Facebook, you can submit your picture. Just submit it into the Hive. This is gonna start. I was gonna start it Monday, but we can start it now. So you can submit them this weekend. If you're a member of the Hive, definitely submit your Halloween costumes. I know that most of y'all probably won't submit them till the 31st. We're going to look at them on the 1st, but because, yeah, the 1st is, let's see here. Yeah, the 1st is a Tuesday. So yeah, we can look at them on Tuesday after Halloween and see who had the best costume. We'll have like a poll and stuff. It'll be fun. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing that. This will be the first time that we do anything like that in the Facebook group. So yeah, if you're not a member, join. If you don't follow me on Facebook, you can't find it. It's called the Hive, just the Hive. And if you follow me on any other social media, I can send you a link to it. It's a little fun group. Anyway, moving on.
Research has shown that they're already in communication with what on the other side?
Well, in my reference, and I think we share this, these would be demonic entities.
His research shows that we are in communication with demonic entities. Now, I thought when I was watching this before that there was more preamble than this, but we're only 4.5 minutes into this video, and he's already said, yes, demons are coming through the portal at CERN. Okay, so moving forward.
And what have they assigned a word to the communication to these beings or whatever in another dimension?
No, other than to say that these perhaps are our benevolent ancestors from the stars who are coming to solve all of our problems. And
who said these are our benevolent ancestors from the stars? I think that you are making claims about what they're saying to make what's actually happening seem more mysterious and maybe nefarious and secret underground experiment thing going on there, because the oh my gosh, a hadron collider, what are we gonna, it's in the middle of Europe, and it's kind of famous, so it's weird that you're I like how they're using all the different sky portals and stuff from all the superhero movies. That's kind of funny, because usually folks like this, and they're going to talk about that in a minute here too. It's going to talk about like social programming. Yeah, let's see here.
remove all of our ills from our society.
This is so powerful. This is what you're talking about is a paradigm shift.
So they're saying, oh, benevolent beings coming from the sky, and they show the Shatari, like the evil world-devouring army from space.
That's just about ready to detonate on planet Earth.
That's correct.
This is going to shake up the faith of many Christians and people of belief and non-belief. It's going to shake their very view of reality to the core, just like when Darwin's theory of evolution was promoted. It just tore up people's view of reality.
Right.
Oh, God didn't create us. We're evolved animals. I mean, that just ripped up the fabric of the entire sociological, spiritual structure of the planet.
The paradigm shift.
Right, the paradigm shift. And so we're right.
Sociological. Oh, man. So sociology only works so far as the human construct of the way we interact with each other, right? So we don't have to know about how the world works in order to be social and have these social paradigms set in place. And some of those paradigms didn't actually comport with reality, but they were a perception that we had as a social species in order to maintain the social organization that we had. But we have, again, as a species, moved well beyond the need of those social paradigms, and we're to a point psychologically where we can transcend the social standards of the cultures that we grew up in to embrace reality that science and technology have presented to us.
Well, has the paradigm shift begun, or where are we in terms of that?
In the popular culture, it has begun because we're seeing the predictive programming in the mass media,
In the films
and commercials. Think of it in terms of brainwashing.
Right.
We are predicting the behavior of humans using human
Hey, Jeff.
behavior modeling in the computer, using a program that if we put out this stimuli, we will achieve this type of response in human beings, no matter the culture, no matter where they live. And so this is going to what we're going to talk about in a moment, is the adiabatic quantum computer, which is artificially intelligent. Predictive programming, in essence, is saying if we create this program, a television program, a movie, and we put in images that are violent, we put in images about portals, we talk about aliens being benevolent, then it becomes sort of, in their mind, a self-fulfilling prophecy that people will believe the lie, become victims of that, the grand deception of predictive programming, and therefore will follow lockstep, whatever it is they're being fed, so that you are able to modify their behavior and make them become part of the New World Order and follow the beast system.
this science of predictive programming that you were talking about,
My research shows. How many times have we heard this? And what was the actual research? Yeah, he doesn't give any citations. He's doing the journalist thing and being like, "Oh, I can't reveal my sources."
Is science. I mean, this goes back before H.G. Wells, the great science fiction author, and Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. They were
There's Stargate. Robbie, are you in the audience? I know you're a Stargate fan. I know this is the movie and not your show, but yeah, we're open. They think CERN is opening Stargates.
employing predictive programming, and the Star Trek series developed by Gene Roddenberry, as you know, was for the purpose of predictive programming to promote a UN global government.
Right.
And now, as you just said, all these science fiction, superhero, technological singularity movies,
Transformers.
everything from Captain America, it is just embedded with this
In the culture.
Exactly. And so young people are they're conversant in what you're saying.
Yep.
But
And it's funny they keep saying that we're presenting the extraterrestrial beings as benevolent, going to help mankind and things. But if the media that we're putting out, what they're talking about here with the programming, if the media that we're putting out is supposed to prepare us for, or mentally and psychologically prepare us for this coming demonic invasion that they're wanting to present to us as benevolent, why are all the portal entities in all of these media in different franchises always malevolent? Why are, again, I'll refer back to the sky portal in the first Avengers movie, or the sky portal the sky portal in the Suicide Squad movie, or the what else comes from a portal? Stargate. There was evil aliens on the other side. What other portals are you showing us now? There was the portal that went to the world that Doctor Doom got mutated in that reboot of the Fantastic Four that was just yucky. Anyway,
more importantly, what you're saying, these movies like Divergent and The Hunger Games, you know, those movies are embedded with subconscious subliminal messages.
Absolutely.
They're not designed to be, in my opinion, just entertainment. They're employing predictive programming.
There are no portals in The Hunger Games that I'm aware of. Are there portals in Divergent? I've never.
And let's go to the recent television show, Lucifer, how they portray Satan as a debonair ladies' man, British accent.
Well,
you know, they're making Lucifer look good.
Lucifer was an angel, babe. Lucifer would look good, right? I mean, the angels were supposed to be so freaking hot that mortal women couldn't resist them. That was part of the problem. That's why God had to flood the planet, because these angels were full-blown hotties. Yeah, there's no reason to assume that he's been deformed in some way, like what we see here on the screen now. Let Lucifer be hot. He's an angel. He should be hot.
Right. Making
So
Lucifer look
talk
good.
about programming people into believing a lie.
Right.
It's right in our face.
It's right in our face.
Yep.
So people being programmed, and we know that the result of this is already measurable. I was doing research the other day, and the fastest growing religion in America is Wicca, which, as you know, is paganism and witchcraft. And number 2 is Islam. So now, this collider and these beings that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on
who is in communication with what beings. Where is this claim cemented in? You're just saying from my research. You don't cite anything, and I don't. When I look into this, all I find is a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff. So where are your facts coming from, my dude? There's yeah.
planet Earth right now, who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, from another dimension, and that's the purpose of the collider. I mean, people need to understand this is not science fiction. This is fact.
That's correct. What I write about in
that is not fact. I don't know where you're claiming that fact is coming from. I've researched this over and over again, and I don't find any resources that claim that that CERN is communicating with extraterrestrials or demons or any other creatures beyond some portal that they generated by colliding particles. That doesn't seem to be what's happened, what this machine has done.
my novels.
Right.
I place a storyline that is embedded with science fact. Everything that I present publicly in the books, public speaking, is all drawn from their own scientific journals and white papers. And then I'm able to see what they're doing, not just extrapolate, but see in the real time what it is they're doing.
You're able to see what they're doing.
Not a future agenda, but what they're doing right now today. The imminency of what they intend to do, which is opening this gateway. And understand that
there's no gateway. This is, I guess you could call it a scare tactic to claim that there's a gateway. Good morning, Michael Granado. We are going to be doing something together too next month. We're talking about domestication, and Michael's a science history buff. I like science history too, and I like animals. So we're going to talk about domestication. I know we're going to talk about the domestication of the dog, because that was the OG domestication result. But there's been so many animals that we've domesticated or semi-domesticated in the past, and we're going to talk about that process, how it interacts with the genetics of the organism and the morphology of the organism. And how we can select for what would be considered deficiencies in a wild environment. Things like that. We are definitely going to have a lot of fun, maybe some good laughs too. Maybe we'll make it a Thanksgiving show, because I mentioned talking about the domestication of turkeys, and turkeys are an excellent example of the domestication process, because what we call the domestic turkey now is a fairly recent addition to the animal kingdom, and we can see those differences take place over selection, over the selection process, very similar to what we see with like pigs. Anyway, I'm going to get off the rails on that, so let me move on.
The world of science in terms of particle physics also overlaps into DNA, into biology.
Yes.
There's a multifaceted, multi-level agenda at play, not just with CERN, but it's proof of concept feeder labs around the world that feed into CERN. So we were talking about changing humans, changing the planet. We're talking about not only bringing in information through a portal, we're also talking about definitively changing our way of life. This is a threat to our existence, to the creation of mankind.
A threat to our existence.
Oh, that's the other one I was thinking. I couldn't remember. The strange. That's a Stranger Things references here, because Stranger Things has portals. But what was beyond the portals in Stranger Things? Was it benevolent angels that they were trying to condition us to welcome? No. I think anything popping out of a portal right now, based on modern media, is going to be met with extreme fear and maybe prejudice. So even a benevolent alien is going to have a hard time popping through a portal right now, just based on our media, based on what we see in movies and in TV shows. Cletus is going to blast the visitor with his shotgun before he takes it to his leader, because he's been trained that aliens that pop out of portals want to kill us and take over our world.
Threat to the creation of mankind.
Oh, here we go. Here's some of the images that this is what drew me to this topic, really. I came to this topic a really weird way. I was actually looking for what we're going to cover in Creation Watch today, because Creation Watch today is going to be actually kind of fun. And we'll get to that in a minute. But that actually, the pathway I took to get to this was looking at those images from the CERN that same website had, and they're like, oh, there's faces in here because they're opening portals to hell. This is the view of a portal looking into hell, and these are the creatures that wait inside. And there's the image was in the thumbnail, really clear pareidolia. I don't know how you could claim it was anything else, but those will pop up here in a second too.
So they're communicating with some kind of entity. You and I would believe
There we
these
are.
entities are fallen angels.
Yeah. This is pareidolia, and they double down on it by outlining what they want to be the outline of this alleged face, just based on the pixelation. And have you ever pointed a camera into a dark space that's open, that's deeper than your camera's light will pick up, and it will do this. It'll generate this patchy, pixelated black and white area as it tries to bring into focus what's beyond the area of light. It's not actually picking anything up. It's going through, trying to find depth out there. It's darkening and lightening pixels and little waves, and looking for anything that it can present to you on the screen. But these are, and it's not generating face either. It's just random. But if you can connect the dots with the faces like these folks did, you can make this one looks kind of like a Bigfoot. Maybe Bigfoot is beyond there too, because you look, you can see my mouse. Okay, yeah. So like this would be the allegedly the nose, and then these the eyes. But there's this big brow ridge up here above it, and the lips are kind of heavy, and the nose is really wide, and the cheeks are really wide. I think this is a Sasquatch. If this is supposed to be, so Sasquatch are actually beyond the CERN portal and not demons, based on this face right here. This could be an alien too. I mean, the eyes are a little small, but maybe it's a gray alien, like, and he's like squinting because he's looking through the portal, like, you know, like when you look through a car window or something to see if it's your, you know, person, if it's somebody you know inside or whatever. You've been down and squint. Maybe he's looking through the portal like that. He's a gray alien, and Sasquatch is behind him, like, dude, don't go in there. So yeah,
Right.
And then your research has shown.
Oh, here's another one. This one's extra boxy. This, again, this is the same phenomena, just the camera going through the waves of lightening and darkening the each individual pixel, looking for or trying to capture an image that's not there, or any kind of image that's not there. And it's not looking for faces. Again, it's just capturing. This is just the way that it goes through its cycle to try to pull the image in. And this one came out really boxy. Looks maybe like Dr. Doom, which is ironic because they had Fantastic Four earlier. Or it could be like a skeleton, like a living skeleton, but with like a Terminator skeleton. Maybe this is a Terminator. If it was a Terminator, though, the eye would be dark. They'd be glowing red. We could probably Photoshop it to make this a Terminator, and then put it back out into the woo-woo community and be like, CERN has opened a portal into the future, and the machines have come through. See how they do with that. Yes, we are just looking for monkey faces. We're just monkeys looking for faces in the environment around us. That's the bottom line. All right.
This is being distributed to feeder labs all over planet Earth, and who knows what other kind of research institutes and technology, because they have an end game of radically restructuring man, woman, the entire planet. This is almost.
I kind of get the feeling that they think that this is the same narrative that would say that getting like the vaccine for COVID was a ploy to alter our DNA, things like conspiracies like that, because these things stack.
It's an impossible question, but in a brief summary, give our viewers an idea of.
Was it pareidolia, or was it a Terminator portal into the future? Maybe that one was just shut down. That's why his eyes weren't glowing red. You don't know that, GeoSam. It could have been a portal into the future. We still need to do a time traveler, though. So if you're familiar with any time travelers, not for next week. I already got next week mapped out, but for the week after that, I would love to do a time traveler episode for CryptoCorner. So if you are familiar with any specific cases, send them to me, and I will pick from the cream of the crop. The reason I don't want to do it next Saturday is because next Saturday is the Halloween show, and I already got everything planned out for it. So don't miss that next week. That is October 29th at, again, 9:30 a.m. So yeah, don't miss that. All right, moving on.
What their radical end game is.
Well, my answer is radical. Ultimately, it is to kill God. In the hubris of Satan, of Lucifer, he believes that he actually has the ability to kill God's angels and kill God. He believes he can create a new heaven on earth, that he can create a new race of beings. He hates everything that God has created, including us. And he is the mirror image of every.
This is all extra biblical stuff. Would you channel that information? Did it come from special revelation? Did you have a near-death experience and God set you up on his knee and told you about what the devil's plan was? Can the devil actually kill God? That's your claim, that the devil thinks he can kill God. Can he kill God? And if he can, why are we not helping him? Because God is awful. I don't know anybody who can read the Old Testament and think that, yes, this is the being I want in charge when they look at Yahweh. No, we should be doing, if the devil and his demons are enemies of God, the enemy of mine enemy are my friends. God is the enemy of the human race, unless you're in his special club. Unless you're in his, I mean, for the longest time, it was just the people of Judah, the Israelites. But with the new covenant, it's expanded to anybody who accepts Jesus into their heart. But they are wanting to oppress the whole rest of us. The devil and his demons already in the lockdown. Any of the rest of us in the whole world who die go into this lockdown. You're basically you're in the waiting room for prison, for an eternity of prison, just because you don't bend the knee to a tyrannical creator. And this is just, I mean, within the blankets of the mythology, right? So we should be teaming up. We should be working with, if we can open a portal to let the devil out of hell so he can finish whatever his plan is to take down the tyrant. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe he's going to get tyrannical himself, but it's better than the system that's in place. I don't know. Sorry, ranting.
Everything that God has created that is all that is good. And so if you 180 that, if you flip that over, if you make it a mirror, think of everything that is good in the world that God has created, go to the opposite side. And that's what Satan's goal is, to present his form of life and his form of heaven here on earth using technology. Now, I need to make it clear that I don't hold any ill will against the scientists, the researchers, engineers. They are deceived into believing one of the original lies, that ye shall be as gods, that you will have immortality. That's the carrot that they've been offered.
I don't know if any of these scientists are like, well, this might open a portal to hell, but I'm going to be immortal. I don't think that that's ever been their decision on it when they're deciding what they're going to do. Yeah.
So the scientists and the technology people, many of them are under the spiritual delusion or spiritual deception,
right,
that they're evolving man into, I guess, a superhuman or a god man.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Continue.
So if they're thinking in terms of what we are doing is
because CERN was so preoccupied with creating the Uber mesh. That was their goal, right? They wanted to create the Uber mesh. No, that's not anything to do with CERN. This is getting really off the rails.
For the betterment of mankind. That's the compartmental aspect of their research, the compartmentalization that they work in. Outside, they are cut off from the outside of who's promoting.
Have you ever heard such a blatant what do they call it, Luddite argument? Because what a Luddite is when they created the printing press, these individuals who would scribe these books threw a big fit about it. It was the electronic printing press, the people who had the old presses that they used to use back before the advent of the printing press. They were angry about it and said this technology was going to ruin the world, and that we were working towards the end time with our devilish technology. And this is back in what Titan, you're out there. What year was it that the Luddite rebellion or whatever it was, where they rebelled against the advent of new technology? That's basically, this is just 2022 version of that.
The machine, who's funding it, to what end? So if you were to ask one of those researchers and say, are you guys trying to open a portal and let in demons? Are you trying to terraform the planet for a new race of beings? Like, what have you been smoking? Kind of response. Because they are cut off. We have the opportunity, being removed from that compartment, to see it from a different perspective, from a bigger perspective, and that's given to us through the Holy Spirit, through that discernment. We are able to see what is hidden. We do our research, we do our due diligence, but then we clearly see what is really going on. One of the examples, going back to your initial question, the statue of Shiva, the god of destruction.
Yeah.
Right there.
They say, I don't understand this technology, therefore it's the devil. I wish I had a clip of Mama from Waterboy saying, what was it, science is the devil or something like that. I want to get some Waterboy clips to play during my videos.
Here outside the headquarters at CERN. They produced a video last year from CERN called Symmetry, complete satanic rituals. Recently, just a few days ago, there was the opening of the Goddard Tunnel in Switzerland near CERN, purely demonic rituals.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Go ahead, sir.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That video
Wait a minute.
of the demonic rituals
Yes.
of opening the tunnel. And I only had a brief opportunity.
That looks like performance art. Why is this a demonic ritual? This looks like it's these people like on Circus Delay wires and projectors and elaborate costumes. And we got looks like some cultural elements from Alpine culture with the horned entity really ingrained in Alpine and Northern European culture as well. That imagery of the wild man, the horned wild man. There are other wild men too, of course, in those traditions, but this is just a cultural thing. What was this other one that they showed? Let me look back a bit because they were talking about Shiva and
The headquarters at CERN.
this thing. What do they got going on here? Let's see. I'm gonna Google this. So it says what, satanic ritual to Shiva, CERN. Let's see what we come up with. Someone has been conducting, hold on here. Ooh, that sounds. Oh, video unavailable. Well, that gives it a nefarious undertone, doesn't it? CERN ritual hoax. Oh my gosh, there's a whole article about it. Look, Wikipedia has an article about it with sources from The Guardian, The Huffington Post, Popular Mechanics, The Independent, and Snopes, the fact checker. So this is what Wikipedia should be. Yeah, let me show you guys this. People, the Wikipedia haters, let me lay something down for you here. People will say Wikipedia is a bad source, but I'm going to teach you guys something right now that people don't understand. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. So I'm going to teach you guys something right now that there's nothing wrong with doing with Wikipedia. There's nothing wrong. Where did I lose my StreamYard? There you are. Okay. Just making sure that it was showing up on here. Well, that's not even showing the same one. Hold on. That was now I got to go back in and change it. Sorry, peeps. Give me just a second. I got too many screens open, but I opened some more because. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia is not a good source for information. No, it's not. You don't use Wikipedia. It's not a source at all. It's not even, hey, no one claim Wikipedia is a source. Wikipedia is a hub for sources. Yeah, there's going to be some breakdown of basic information, and it even tells you which source or which resource that information comes from. Even if you highlights it down below. So you are not quoting Wikipedia when you read a certain spokesperson stated the video was a prank and that no one was actually harmed. Right there, you can hover over the 3 and say you're not quoting Wikipedia. You're quoting Popular Mechanics, CERN scientists under investigation after fake human sacrifice. And you can go to that article and read it. But this is what it says, basically right here. You can fact check that. And if you got a problem with what it says, well, you just pop right out into the talk section and you say, hey, this article says that this blah blah blah, but you put into the Wikipedia article that blah blah blah, and they will and the group will look at it and peer review the citation and make a determination on it. It's very Wikipedia has come a long way since the early days when it was first finding its feet. But yeah, it's not a source, it's a hub. It's a hub for resources. This entire section here, hover over that, all comes from this top article. So you can go onto the top article. Fake human sacrifice filmed at CERN with pranking scientists suspected. That was The Guardian. Yeah, it goes all the way down to this stuff here. Fact check photography, with faux being spelled like F-A-U-X as in fake, was a human sacrifice captured at CERN. So this is a pretty well-known prank, right? And that's how, yeah, I'm a little passionate about this topic because I'm so sick of people saying Wikipedia can't be a resource. Yes, it can. You just have to know how to use it. Just have to know how to use it. Say this sentence comes from this article, this sentence or this paragraph comes from this article, and you can go to the articles and see it. And if it says citation needed, that's where the gag comes from for the memes and stuff. That's where the memes are from, because citation needed on a Wikipedia article. If it does not backed up by a citation down below, which you can rank the validity of yourself and go to the articles and listen to or read what they have to say, or listen to what they have to say. Sometimes it's a video, very rarely, but sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, back to the video. Sorry about the tangent. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Back to. All right, here we go. Continuing on.
They produced a video last year from CERN called Symmetry, Complete Satanic Rituals. Recently, just a few days ago, there was the opening of the Goddard Tunnel in Switzerland near CERN. Purely demonic rituals.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Go ahead, sir.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That video of the demonic rituals
Yes.
opening the tunnel, and I only had a brief opportunity to look at it. I saw what was going on. It was openly demonic. It was devoted to the worship of Satan.
It's in our face.
But I knew that
It was
Goddard
devoted
tunnel,
to pastoral
connected to the whole CERN
alpine culture.
Well, physically, it's not connected.
Right.
I want to make that clear. But in the sense of the spiritual world and
Right.
the communication
I
through
see.
ritual,
Okay.
they are
Right.
connected. And in fact, in that ceremony, that demonstration, they showed the opening of the portal that CERN will achieve.
Flash mobs is the devil. Mama says flash mobs is the devil. Hey, Quill, good morning. Good morning. She's not chaotic. Her destruction is not arbitrary. She does it specifically to make things better. Yeah, Shiva is, she's the wipes it out, and then so that a new structure can be built, right? A new reality can be conceived in the place of it.
And the tunnel itself represents, in physics, quantum tunneling, which is a communication utilizing an artificially intelligent computer, an adiabatic quantum computer, which runs its computations through another dimension, retrieves that information from another dimension, achieving a solution that we can use in our world.
For real, they're talking about opening a tunnel. Just a tunnel from one place to another that goes underground. And there's some mountains, I believe. Oh no, it's the devil.
Now that is real. That's not fantasy. That comes
Right.
right from the manufacturer. This is the machine that is employed now, just recently, now at CERN, and will be responsible for the initiation.
Naked boobs. I wish our culture wasn't so uptight that we didn't have to cover up naked boobs, because I love boobs. I don't think there's anything sexual about boobs. The reason that they're sexualized is because they're taboo. I love boobs. Stop being weird.
Of the opening of the portal and the stability, the holding open of the portal for the receiving of, and I'll give this definitively, it's digitized DNA, demonic DNA in a digitized form.
Demonic DNA in a digitized form. Citation, dude, trust me.
Ones and zeros coming through this portal, received here, reassembled, if you will, and then presented to a hybrid body.
Because as you said, Lucifer desires to be God, as the Bible says, and Lucifer desires to create his own race in his own image.
Exactly.
And I think you would agree that this is very hard for many Christians to grasp. It's a truth that's hard for Christians to really own. and that is the world is exactly as the Bible says that it is.
Yes, it is.
And there's an invisible world, Lucifer at the top, his hierarchy of demons. He compartmentalizes information on a need-to-know basis. And at the very top, there are men and women who are open Luciferians.
Yes, indeed.
They have committed themselves. They participate in rituals to the worship of Satan because, as you said, they believe that they're going to conquer Christ,
Yep.
and Satan is the true, or Lucifer is the true God.
That's right.
Now, you said that, and I
Are Luciferians? I always get the sects of Satanism mixed up. Let's see, Luciferian. Not a song. I guess there's a song called Luciferian too. So Luciferian. I'm just trying to figure out if they're the legit Satanists who believe that, you know, and worship Lucifer, or if they are the atheist. Luciferian Satanism. Okay, so there's theistic Luciferians and non-theistic Luciferians. That makes sense. Okay, so some of them believe in actual Satan, and some of them believe in it as in a figurative sense. I know, like Aaron Rock recently converted to a satanic sect. I don't. Was it Luciferian? Anyhow, sorry, I keep stopping it to research. I should have done before, but this was a long video.
I said that, and the Bible says that, but for some reason, there's almost a veil in the minds of many Christians. And I pray, as we interview you, that the Holy Spirit would just break that veil of deception, and that God's people could really see reality as it really is, instead of living in this kind of fog state, which is better unbelief.
I see what you did there with the fog state and the fog machine. Good go. Actually, what seemed like it wasn't a very good day for a fog machine because the wind's just whipping all that fog right away. That's trying to generate
Of God's word.
Well, let's use the collider for our purposes.
Okay.
Let's call that.
Oh,
evidence.
cool.
It's
Oh
physical.
my gosh, those are beetles. Check that out. Those are gorgeous beetles too. I love that. I love this performance art. I like going to see this kind of stuff live. I even went to see, even though it's like really like religious kind of, I went to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they do stuff with the jumping around on the suspension wires while rocking out on guitars. It was pretty badass with lots of pyrotechnics and stuff. Yeah, it was a Christmas concert with pyrotechnics and heavy metal guitar and wire work and stuff. It was pretty rad. I mean, if you're into that sort of stuff. I know a lot of people aren't into live theater.
Physical, it's tangible, it's right there in our face.
Right.
If we accept the symbology they have presented, which is demonic in origin,
Yes.
their statues, their videos,
Yeah.
and we take that at face value as definitive evidence to
Yeah.
the hidden agenda,
Right.
we can say there's the machine, the most powerful machine,
That's not even from the thing. That's a video game or
the
something.
largest machine ever created in recorded history of mankind. And that is definitive proof that we have a problem. This is a extinction level event, this opening of the portal. If we look at the wars...
Did you say extension or extinction?
Extinction, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
extinction level, okay.
If we look at the wars that are going on...
They really hate flash mobs. Look at all the flash mobs that they're like, these people are doing choreographed dances.
right now, imagine if that portal was open. The key to the bottomless pit is the Large Hadron Collider. If they were to turn that key and open that doorway,
Flash mobs are the language of the devil.
and we were flooded, the wars would seem insignificant and all the other ills of the planet compared to the opening of this portal. This is why it is imperative, because it's right now today, and it's in our face, and it's tangible proof. That breaks down our own veil.
Okay, so Anthony is telling you in a methodical, rational, logical way that we have evidence. The visual pictures, the videotapes, the published statements of the heads, some of the
A lot of this seems to depend on that fake satanic ritual, doesn't it?
heads of CERN, and they are saying in their videos and the visuals and the evidence that you're talking about, if you showed it in a courtroom, it would be acceptable evidence,
Right.
of openly demonic worship of Satan and open admission of many of the agendas that you talked about. Now, since this is true, and it is true because you have evidence to back up what you're saying, and it also, there's no conflict between what you're saying and the Bible. In fact, the Bible would support what you're saying.
Revelation 9.
Revelation
Oh,
9.
let's see here. What is the objective of theistic Satan worshipers? They want to go to hell and be tortured. I checked out of religious stuff a while ago. So Yeah, well, it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier on in the show that if Satan has a plan to destroy the oppressor God Yahweh, who is at least from the human perspective, who is very very evil. I guess if evil's, I don't really. I think evil's like just a point on a spectrum that we have for our individual moral compasses, but who is evil and needs to be stopped. He's basically keeping us in just a temporary waiting room to put us in a torture chamber. So I guess a theistic Satanist would want to free Satan so he could attempt to defeat Yahweh. Would be the end goal, I guess. I hope that gives my interpretation. Yeah, dancing is a sin, flash mobs.
And when their hidden agendas, when the fruit of their hidden agendas, when these beings start moving through the portal and entering into the earth, I don't think most Christians are ready for the physical manifestation and the supernatural changes that are going to occur in what we call our present.
Oh, UFOs. So UFOs are involved in this now. So UFOs are from CERN, even though UFOs have been sighted since they really got into the, and I know the UAPs or whatever, unidentified aerial phenomena is the preferred vernacular these days, but since World War II, UFOs has been, or Foo Fighters was the original name for them, and then UFOs took over once they started investigating it at a scientific level. They couldn't call them Foo Fighters anymore, but yeah, so long before CERN.
Reality. Our present reality is about ready to be violently shaken and reshaped. They are already in communication with something that has a personality and has ability to communicate.
Yeah, and I would argue that theistic Satanists are Christians too. That would be a sect of Christianity because they follow the Bible, the Christian Bible. They believe the Christian philosophy and mythology to be true, so they would be Christians. Theistic Satanism would be a sect of Christianity.
And the information that they're receiving must be very high level information because they're feeding it to laboratory.
Oh my gosh, you guys know I'm not going to have all these UFO videos pop up here and not identify them. What you see here are mylar balloons tethered together in a bunch with a foil finish, probably foil finish on the back, at maybe 300 feet up. So not up into the wind yet, but enough to be or not up into the actual stream where they'll start drifting away, but to where they're just getting kind of battered around by the ground level breezes.
Stories and technologies all across the planet. And what you said, which is so sobering, that video on the internet that captured it was an open satanic worship ceremony, I guess, in the Goddard Tunnel.
Yes.
And I saw it and I was like, my mouth unopened because it was so in your face, Luciferian and satanic.
I would say we've probably not seen something that bold in the mainstream media.
No, we haven't.
In our lifetime.
No. And, there's been
beware the flash mob. Beware Bavarian culture. Because, I mean, that's what I see here. I see a lot of like Swiss culture, maybe some mix between Swiss, because I think that the tunnel went from Switzerland to Germany. I saw the German premier prime minister in one of their clips, but so they're embracing their combined alpine culture. See the Alps behind them there. You know what this culture did pastorally speaking, because they had these little valleys that were not exactly fit for a lot of cattle, but they were fit for a lot of ovids, a lot of goats and sheep, specifically goats though. So goats became a popular livestock in alpine culture and is symbolic of alpine culture and the pastoral shepherd culture well before Christianity entered the region. And this is a homage to the shared culture of both of these alpine nations as they connect against this tunnel that they've built. It's not satanic or Luciferian, and it's weird that you think it is. Look, there's the alpine trumpet guys with their big horns.
Escalation, and it keeps getting faster and more bold and more prominent. The Illuminati symbols at the Super Bowls and these giant musical performances in stadiums by music superstars and the Olympics. There are in-your-face occult messages and satanic messages and symbols, which tells you there's a very powerful Luciferian elite in this world, very active, and they're not hiding anymore. No.
These are actually kind of these performances that they're showing are actually kind of awesome. It's performance art. I don't know. Again, live theater's not for everybody, but that doesn't mean that live theater is the devil. Even if it uses dark and scary imagery, it's theater. It's performance art. They're telling a story through dance. Pay attention.
They've come out
because they've progressed in their timeline to the point where they feel invulnerable and no longer have to hold back. In fact, they want to be more bold about it so that they can gather themselves more converts to their way.
That would make
pull
sense.
away from us.
So this is like with the performance art thing again here. It's like if you took all the clips from all the Disney movies, all the Disney cartoons, I'm talking about the animated classics or whatever, it just clipped out all the villain scenes and the villain monologues and villain songs, and then said, oh, man, Disney's an evil corporation. Look at their values. Look at these are their characters that they create. When you show performance art and just show the antagonistic force or the dark force or whatever. Sometimes the heroes are dark anti-heroes or things of that nature, and that's not a new thing. That's been around for a long time. I think a lot of people would consider Christ an anti-hero, at least at the time that he was out doing his thing. He would have been an anti-hero because he was kind of a Robin Hood. He was. There was a reason why the officials captured him and crucified him. What he was doing was rebellious. He was an anti-hero. He wasn't out killing people, but he was living outside the law. I don't know if you call Christ a dark character. His story's kind of dark, but just again, look at the Passion plays, for instance. That's performance art right there. That if you take it at face value, that doesn't look well for Christians. And I understand that you all find beauty in his sacrifice and all that good stuff, but anyway, I'm going to
that would make sense because here in the U.S. we have this rise in the satanic churches, just openly recruiting.
Oh my gosh, they were showing DNA and a human egg, and now they're showing a classic piece originally created by Leonardo da Vinci.
Evangelizing, which wouldn't have occurred even 5 or 6 years ago.
That's correct.
Now, we're talking about how the information distributed to the scientists and others is compartmentalized. So you talk to many of these scientists, and I talked to some of these scientists, and they have no clue as to what you're talking about. And it was obvious to me
The first social network of brains lets 3 people transmit thoughts to each other's heads. That sounds awesome.
To some of them is that they only have compartmentalized information. Now, you and I would agree that it's kind of Lucifer's organizational structure is pyramidal.
Absolutely.
With Lucifer on top, and then it's on a need-to-know basis. Kind of like a corporation,
sure,
where Lucifer is the CEO, the founder, the chairman of the board.
Sure.
So,
where is the link to Lucifer? You still haven't made that link.
At the highest level, and we know this from reading the documents behind the founding of the United Nations and so many other organizations. These people were disciples of Madame Blavatsky, who openly promoted the worship of Satan.
Absolutely.
So, who would you say?
I keep getting Blavatsky references here lately. What's going on?
Who would you say is running this thing, driving it on a human level? And
True.
who's ultimately, I know they're using lower level sources who's financing this?
Right out of the Vatican.
Right out of the Vatican.
If you need to put a figurehead to that, we can call it the Pope, but he's a figurehead much like any president or dictator. Right. But he is the figurehead for the structure. The Vatican finances.
Here we go. Let's turn the y'all ready for some Catholic conspiracy theory? So if you're American Baptist, you lap this stuff up like it's mother's milk.
And creates the governmental controls for the entire world. It doesn't matter the culture or the government. Everybody in lockstep takes their orders from the Vatican. If you were to look at our legal systems, no matter the country, they all derive from the legal system that is put forth by the Vatican. Now they have their minions that are sprinkled out and infiltrated into many organizations like the Illuminati, but the short answer is the Vatican. They worship Saturn, the black sun. If you look...
Saturn, the black sun. That's terminology I'm not familiar with. Now we're getting into the part of this video I haven't really explored too much. Let's see. Saturn, the black sun. Saturn, the black sun. Is that a terminology that's found anywhere? The black sun is a Nazi symbol. Schwarz Sonnen. The type of sun wheel. Yeah. Black sun, Saturn. It's a rock band based on Pink Floyd and Crimson King. So I don't know what you're talking about, Bob.
At and look for images of Saturn in the clothing, in the adornments, in the temples. You will see representations of Saturn everywhere. This is the satanic worship of their false sun, their false god, Saturn. That is where they derive their energy from that worship of their false god, Saturn. Now, that sounds absurd. Most people would never put Saturn and the Vatican together. But
I don't believe you. You're showing me different things, different art and images and prints and things like that, and claiming that there's some overarching symbology between the pictures, but you're not elaborating on what those overarching similarities are. If they're from some secret Vatican code, that maybe was it was cracked in the 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci. You did have his image come up there, so we have this, or his the man thing. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, the guy on the wheel. So, I mean, we're talking about Da Vinci and secret codes by the Vatican, kind of like Da Vinci Code.
it's easy enough to see it isn't that occulted. And therefore, who's running CERN, who's pushing the agenda, comes right out of the Vatican.
But at the same time, outside...
Oh my gosh, and CERN is in Switzerland. Who guards the Vatican? The Swiss Guard. Doom, doom, doom. We're going to make a lot of
inferences. Of the organizational structure and hierarchy of the Vatican, there are many Catholics like the late Malachi Martin and others, another guy who they say committed suicide by hanging himself, but that was very doubtful.
Right.
Malachi Martin, a Catholic, and I believe he was a Jesuit, warned, as a Catholic apologist, he warned of the incense of Satan penetrating the Vatican. And what he was saying, as you know, is that he was alluding it was his thesis, Malachi Martin, that Satanism had penetrated the Vatican.
You reached an epoch.
Right. So you're not saying all Catholics are right. Okay.
I mean, that's again, that is unfounded, and I mean, yeah, people have conspiracy theories about all kinds of things, including Satanism and penetrating the Vatican and all this good stuff, especially coming from outside of the Catholic Church.
Talking about, if you will, a governmental structure,
right?
A political, a theological structure. We're not attacking people,
right?
But we're looking at the structure that was assembled and promulgated by Satan himself, and the direct, in-your-face worship of Lucifer by that hierarchy in that structure.
Okay, so it's interesting to me because I get emails from everybody, and you have one segment saying it's the Jews who are responsible for all the evils in the world, and protocols of the learned elders of Zion, and it's some.
Oh, how far? We got a whole 26 minutes in before they dropped the J word.
So it's the Vatican, and there's this whirl of confusion. I don't want to totally get into that, but it is interesting though.
It's funny when conspiracy theories are like, wait a minute, is it the Jews or is it the Vatican? Because it can't be both. Which one is it? I think we're going to wrap this up here. We'll give it a couple more minutes, but I got other things to cover. And we are only 26 minutes into a 51-minute video, and I am it was fun at first. Now starting to get into, well, and we may revisit this. We'll see.
That the Vatican has had a number of spokesmen, and I believe the current Pope recently made a statement, and tell me if you know the statement, alluding to the fact of some kind of extraterrestrial alien visitation. Tell our viewers about that.
Well, he's come right out.
Oh, maybe I won't.
He said that.
Maybe I won't wrap this up in a second. Holy crap. Alien extraterrestrial visitors. That just gave me a cryptic pitch in a tent. Oh, goodness. I lost my place. Where was I? We were past the flash mobs. There was our dance rituals. We were 26 minutes. That's what I was just talking about it. So
it's the Jews who are responsible for all the evils in the world.
Sure. With quote aliens, which is a broad stroke term in itself, he would welcome the opportunity, and I'm paraphrasing, to baptize another form of life, aliens. Where's that in the Bible? Right. That's my challenge to him.
And there's been a number. I mean, they have as I understand it, some kind of Vatican ambassador, that's not probably the right word, program for ETs.
Sure, and the UN. We have a UN spokesperson for the visitation by aliens. That person, I forget her name at the moment, but she is our world representative. Take me to your leader scenario.
And then we have and there's been prominent discussion.
What's wrong with that?
A whole series of presidents in the last 20 years where this
agenda, this scenario is played out. Ronald Reagan.
Right, yeah, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan would be one, and Clinton and Obama, and a lot of them.
Sure. Wouldn't that go back to Kennedy and the space program, or even further back than that? Because Kennedy wasn't the one who snagged von Braun and all the rocket engineers from the Third Reich. Talking to the 40s with Eisenhower. So, right. This is the drive to explore space goes back a lot further than Reagan and his Star Wars.
So
those are hints. Those are tantalizing to the masses.
Okay, little hints.
Yeah.
So what do you tie that into the CERN collider, and tell us where you think this agenda is going?
James Corden watching Barack Obama on TV, like just thrown in there.
Well, I think we've addressed it to the extent of opening the portal to communicate. Let's talk about maybe someone else that everyone will recognize.
Sure.
That's Dr. Stephen Hawking,
yes,
one of the most renowned particle physicists in the world, a mathematician. He made the statement, I'll paraphrase, but he said, we're addressing the agenda, the purpose of CERN. He said, you do not want to open this interdimensional gateway because you don't know what's going to come through.
So would he have been? Would you call him a critic of the program?
I would, in the sense of their goal of disturbing the fabric of space, because he said that if we
I don't know, was Hawking
the veil
critic of CERN?
The hadron, the God particle,
so
the Higgs boson.
Oh yes, right.
They allegedly discovered this in the latter part of 2012 and into 2013. He said that if you disturb the Higgs field, which is part of this Higgs boson scenario, you could disturb that enough that you would create vacuums, a vacuum bubble that would envelop at the speed of light, not only this planet, but the entire universe. Now, this is coming from an eminent scientist, mainstream scientist.
So I think that we're crossing hairs here, because Hawkins was talking about the God particle. That's where because I remember him talking about something that we could do that could wipe out the universe. Let's see. In a preface to his new book, the famed physicist fears that Higgs boson becoming unstable and causing a catastrophic vacuum decay, but how likely is that really? Yeah, we might look into that, but
now that hasn't happened. It hasn't played out yet since the discovery of the Higgs boson, and I apologize for the lapse, but what he is addressing is this rift, this opening of this portal, this interdimensional gateway, because he recognizes
he didn't mention a gateway. He said it would cause a catastrophic it could possibly cause a catastrophic vacuum decay, which seems to have not come to fruition. So that's a good thing. And Hawkins can be wrong and still be a genius. It was a I don't know. It looks like just a prospective claim.
that there are entities on the other side that should not be in our realm, that barrier needs to be maintained.
Wait. Stephen Hawking recognizes that there are entities?
Yes.
And did he use the word entities or a similar word?
He uses unknown.
Wait, okay. Stephen Hawking claims black holes are portals to another universe, but there's no coming back. We're going to Google that too. Because headlines, right? This isn't talking about, I don't see anything where he says anything about creatures being on the other side of it or entities or anything like that. I don't think it's saying, I'm Googling this and I'm like, it doesn't even matter because he's talking about the Higgs boson here. He's talking about black holes being portals to another universe. Okay. That doesn't have anything to do with the Higgs boson. Why are we bringing this up? Kind of correlating. See? So you gotta pause and read what they're actually citing up on the screen. They're so full of it. This doesn't have anything to do with this topic at hand. This is him talking about what he thinks black holes, how they function.
Unknown energies, right? But he's referring to entities
In our parlance.
Okay, in our parlance.
Unknown energies, and they say, but he's referring to entities in our parlance. Yeah, in your wild speculation of the way the universe works, sure, he's referring to in any kind of energy could be an entity in your worldview.
So he's concerned about unwanted visitors.
Yep.
A home invasion, if you will,
Sure.
from another dimension.
Look at these more headlines. The occultic CERN. Physicist claims large hadron collider may open portals to another dimension. This is the woo that's out there about CERN for sure. It's been pretty well debunked. Look, that's from 2015.
By entities.
That's correct. He's not the only one that's raised that issue.
Okay.
Not necessarily vacuum bubbles, but this communication and this opening. So there are enough atheist-oriented scientists out there who've been suppressed, but you can find their statements on the internet. This isn't conspiracy theorist origin. These are mainstream people who are saying, we really shouldn't do this. In fact...
Yeah, why are they always anonymous, though? Why are you keeping your sources secret if you're releasing this information? And then claiming these are mainstream scientists. This could be some... I'm not saying that I fully support that the people that you aren't being duped. You may be sincere as possible and be being duped by the same fraternity of scientists who did a satanic ritual hoax outside the facility. Sounds like a goofy, fun group of scientists. So if some of them are sending you these wild claims, it looks like they're really into pulling pranks on people. So you should probably watch your back on that. Anyway, that was Cryptic Corner for this morning. Thank you so much for popping in. It was a little bit of a long one. I did enjoy it. And hold on here. Let me wrap this show up with what Titan Uranus has to say about the topic. Hawking actually expressed disappointment at the confirmation of the Higgs boson as it made physics more boring in his opinion. Yeah. All right. So that was Cryptic Corner. Thank you for popping in here. If you're watching Friday, I'll see you probably, I don't know. It's Friday. So whenever I may be popping over into GERS or something like that, or maybe on Math Pigs. Who's doing a panel tonight? I heard Skylar was going to start doing panels on Friday nights. So maybe I'll be over there. Anyway, I'll see you around. Take care. Be kind. All right. All right. Sorry, I got every morning. Maybe it's because I wake up too late in the morning to get my vocal cords all ready to go, but my throat and mouth is always really dry. Good morning, Ben. Good to see you. Ben and Katie did a good stream, kind of long, but it was a good stream about this hospital in the UK. So go check it out if you haven't. Also, see you later, John. You have a good one, and enjoy your weekend as well. All right. Okay, so yeah, hello people for this segment, because we're about to go into Creation Watch. So that's always a fun one. And today I decided to do it a little bit different. I'm not going to be as critical today, because I wanted to have some fun with some different individuals out there who are spreading the gospel via Christianity, but sorry, I'm gonna move how I'm sitting. I'm uncomfortable. We're gonna be looking at Christian comedians. Okay, this is a different angle for Creation Watch, but I thought we could have some fun and have some good laughs, and some of them might be funny, some of it might be cringe. We'll see. Let's see here. So, funny videos. So this is the site that I originally found. Let me share it with you. And this actually came up when I was looking at the CERN stuff. So it's called Dust Off the Bible. They got videos and memes. Seems like it's been kind of dormant since 2018, but it was a good jumping off point for looking for funny Christian videos. I did find this guy John Christ. There's a lot of videos out there. Some of his more recent stuff has been like anti-mask stuff, but some of his older stuff is his Christian stuff is really funny, actually. But we'll look at that. I mostly use this as a sounding board, but here we'll watch his the Christian Mingle Inspector and see how funny that is, if it's still available. Some of this stuff's been removed. All right, come on. And that's my slow internet, because apparently this laptop's Ethernet port is not working, and I don't know why. But here we go.
It's pretty simple, really. I'm the local rep for ChristianMingle.com. Recently, we've got some reports of people not acting very Christian on dates. So, new company policy now, whenever anyone registers for the site, they send me over to the house, and I just do a quick look around, ask them a few questions just to make sure they're Christian. Hey, Brittany, I'm
So Christian Mingle Inspector, that's pretty funny.
with Christian Mingle. We just got your application.
No, what do you mean? I didn't sign up for
Oh,
Christian
yeah, one of your
Mingle.
friends signed you up as a joke. Okay, everybody says that. And when did you get saved?
I think 12 maybe. Youth Camp First Baptist Church.
Okay, and do you still go there?
Yes, but it's not called First Baptist.
So it's
anymore.
something more like trendy now. It's like Mosaic or Crosspoint or like Watermark.
Thrive Church, actually.
Yeah, you walk into the building, you're not sure if it's a church or a banana republic. Hey, Chad, I'm with Christian Mingle. We just got your application.
Trendy Christian, he said.
I just need to come over quick, ask you a few questions. Just take a look around the house. Just make sure everything's good. Okay.
Is this even legal?
Pretty fast Wi-Fi you got here. You got a filter on this thing? I'm going to give you a mainstream band. You give me the Christian equivalent. Justin Timberlake,
Toby Mac.
Katy Perry,
Francesca Batista.
Nickelback.
Skillet.
Okay, and Switchfoot.
Switchfoot.
If I could just get a couple
Oh, you have to have a Christian equivalent.
of dates of attendance for you here, just for background. Choir the Fire, 98. True Love Waits, 2000. Promise Keepers, 04. Passion Conference, 22. And Catalyst.
Pre-registered last week.
Anything information we need to know in here? Oh, what do we have here? That's going to be a problem. While I was having to look around, I did
Oh, she has a wine opener. Didn't Jesus like wine, though?
find your phone.
You took my phone?
Yeah, just a couple things quick I want to go over with you. Looking at here, Tinder and Snapchat are on page 1, and your Bible app is on page 2 in a folder, and it needs to be updated. Look, Google Plus? I mean, Christian or not, who's using Google Plus? In 2011, I noticed
Who's using Google Plus, right?
that you favorited a a tweet with a swear word.
Okay.
Mission trips?
Uganda 2009, Dominican Republic 2011, and World Race 2013.
Okay, so
See, that's one thing that I missed out on by being non-religious. Is I didn't get anybody to fund my trips to see the world. That would have been awesome. I mean, I'm totally down to help build a house or paint a school or or clean up a beach or whatever they do when they go over there. I'm totally down for that, just to be able to go see the countries. I'll sign up for your mission trip. I'm not going to try to convert people though, but I'll help with the labor. I'll even carry y'all's bags. Take me with you.
the 2?
No, that's 3.
Okay, the World Race. I'm talking about real mission trips. We don't count church-sponsored sightseeing tours. Oh, what do we got here? That's gonna be a problem. We've heard it all recently. We've got reports of people going to R-rated movies. Hold on, Left Behind, is this the Kirk Cameron version? I don't think so. Okay. We've heard
Kirk Cameron version.
people not praying before meals. Let's say you're a nice young Christian woman and we're on a Christian mingle date. Things are going well, but we're back at your place eating popcorn and watching Fireproof. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay, love the book collection. These candles are a little too Catholic-y for me.
Those are like the candles you can find at Dollar General. Pretty standard, but yeah, they do look pretty Catholic.
What about this?
Sure. No.
And Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
Ulta or Sephora?
Sephora.
Wrong. Trick question. Christians shouldn't be that concerned with outward appearances.
Are you serious?
Walgreens is fine. Target, maybe. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree. I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
But I love
Well, you shouldn't love it, and you shouldn't know that song. Is that safe for the whole family? I don't think so.
This is funny.
I'm gonna be real honest with you, Brittany. I'm not seeing the fruit.
I don't know what else I can tell you. I volunteer at a soup kitchen on Thanksgiving. I work in the church nursery every week. I got a Bible verse tattooed on my shoulder in Hebrew.
Okay, Republican
But she's got a tattoo. That's going to be a problem, right?
or Democrat?
Republican.
Global warming.
No evidence.
Stem cell research.
Don't know what it is, but I'm against it.
Guns. Obama.
Hate him.
Welcome to Christian Mingle. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and on paper, things look great, but I'm going to be real honest with you. Yoga pants? Personally, I just don't see how someone could be a Christian and wear yoga pants. If there's anything I can do to prevent someone from a life of destruction, I feel like my work here is done. And I'm out of here. Don't even bother reapplying until you get rid of those yoga pants, get some Don Miller books added to that collection. You get a letter from a compassion child up on that fridge, okay?
Yeah. So,
Pretty simple.
so he's pretty funny. I thought so anyway. Most of the stuff I saw. I mean, like I said, he's got some stuff that could be considered anti-science out there, maybe, but he's usually pretty. I watched a stand-up routine he did. I didn't share it because it was too long, but it was he was in Portland, and it was it was good. He was being anti-mask, but he was kind of making fun of himself about the whole situation and just the idea of him as a right-wing Christian individual doing a show in Portland. So it wasn't too bad. Yes, Ring, that was a great segment, wasn't it? His name was John Christ. If you wanted to follow him again, I thought he was good. This next individual, I'm not really a fan of this story that he tells, but we're gonna watch it anyway. This is another individual's name is Mark Lowry. I think he does stand up at like revivals though, less mainstream than John Christ. This guy is specifically doing these routines at churches. All right. And as you can see from the ratio here, this is an older video.
Over, and I was all excited to have them in my new house, and invited Norman and Brenda, who's here tonight, and they invited some friends of theirs, and that I had not met until this moment in time. And we had the steaks. I grilled the steaks myself, and I found out if you get a cheap piece of meat and put enough garlic on it, it'll taste like a filet mignon. So I grilled the steaks. And
that is true too, by the way. I don't eat meat anymore, but when I was eating meat, I did enjoy a filet mignon. You can generate that flavor with any cut of beef. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
And Norman brought the baked beans, and Brenda brought some potato salad, and somebody else brought tea, and we were just having a good time. And afterwards, we were having coffee, like adults do, and we were talking about politics, which I know nothing about, but it's never stopped me from having an opinion.
Like most of us there, Mark. No worries.
And we were saying this, and I said, I vote this way because I'm a Christian and I believe certain things and that I want to, see happen or whatever. And Nancy, who was a friend of Brenda's, spoke up and said, well, I don't believe in God. And I vote the opposite of you. I didn't care how she voted. All I heard was, I don't believe in God.
Watch this reaction this guy has.
I got so excited. I'd never had one in my home before. I went around and locked all the doors.
A little creepy, but I get it's a joke.
I said, you're going to be here a while. Oh, we had a wonderful time. I started explaining. I said, you know what? I would be an atheist too if I had that much faith.
Oh, here we go. Enough faith to be an atheist, of course. Do you all have enough faith to be an atheist?
It takes a lot of faith to believe all the order around us evolved from some gaseous belch in the universe 6 billion years ago. Order never comes from chaos unless somebody puts it together. All the order in the universe. If I took my watch apart, my Timex Indiglo, I love my watch. I was up all night looking at that watch. But every 15 minutes, I was checking it last night. But what if I took it off my arm and took it totally apart and stuck the pieces in the sack and then I shook the sack for 6 billion years? What if after 6 billion years, what would be the chances of me pulling out a watch that's ticking and on time? I don't even have enough faith for that. I certainly don't have enough faith to think that this complicated year.
Right. So, that's the watchmaker fallacy, right? The fact that we can see a watch is a constructed manufactured item compared to the naturally produced objects in the world distinguishes it. There's a reason for that, because things that are consciously created have different qualities than things that are created by natural forces. And what we see in the universe seems to be a response to different natural forces of physics within our environment, gravity, space, time, light, matter. All these things have physical and physiological responses. Not physiological, that's biology. And physical responses to the world around them and the way they interact with each other. It's that was literally the watchmaker argument. It's not that the universe was shook up in a bag for all this time. It was all these natural forces of chemistry and physics all working together to generate the world you see around you.
Universe around us, and even in our bodies, DNA. They've just in the last few years discovered DNA. I've had it all along. And look at your thumbprint. Everybody look at your thumbprint right now. Did you know that's an original? You are Thumbody.
I'm Thumbody.
There ain't another one like you in the world.
Well, he's kind of like me. We're identical twins, so we share most of the same DNA. So there's somebody pretty much like me. I don't think we have matching thumbprints, but I do believe that you couldn't distinguish one of us from the other on a DNA test. I don't know. That's what we were told anyway when we were part of a twin study. So
I don't have enough faith to believe all the order around us came from chaos. And once you realize you don't have enough faith to believe.
Yeah, I was part of the Missouri twin study. If anybody wanted to know which one it was, the one that was done in I think it was from 87 to like 94.
That there isn't a God, you need to go on the hunt to find out who this God is.
Hey, Lisa.
And you know what? For us to know God, he'd have had to find us.
He'd have to find us. I'm not.
In this great big universe, how are we going to find God? The best we can do is send a Tonka truck to Mars.
Well, I mean, we're just at the cutting edge. I mean, how fast technology has been leaping forward. It's wild to think about even where we could be in 10 years. Or look at where we were 10 years ago. Look at the phone you have in your pocket now compared to the phone you had in your pocket 10 years ago. Look at the I don't know, your computer, whatever, the stuff that's available out there for us, the apps that are available out there for us, the technology, the VR stuff that we're doing now. People are living in virtual reality in these days. Technology is bouncing forward. And look at the technology we're sending into space. Look at these brilliant engineers with in the private sector with places like Tesla. Not to disparage NASA. NASA was the launch pad for all this, but the technology that's coming out in that industry, exploring the universe, we're looking at sending people back to the moon. We're looking at sending people to Mars. There's a lot that's going to be unfolding in the years to come. But right now, yeah, we Tonka truck on Mars, definitely.
And it hit a rock named Barney and hadn't been heard from since. In this great, ever-expanding universe, how are we going to find God? He found us. But you know what? He came through the back door.
All right. Whoa. Easy there. Easy there, Mark. This is a family-friendly show. He's going to start talking about the Virgin Mary and stuff. As you see, there's a Mary Raising Jesus comedy skit here. I'm not really interested in that portion of it. I was more interested in the an atheist faith part, because that's the one that the argument that appeals to me to engage with. So I'm not going to continue on with him at the moment. What I'm going to do is we're going to move right along, because this last one looks this last one here that I'm going to be covering is,
Well, welcome.
yeah, give me just a second to get it pulled up. It had to have to find my place in it because it reset. So these are going to be top 40 jokes in the Bible Don't Laugh Challenge. And let's see how that goes. These could be funny, it could be cringe, but we'll see. How far into it do we need to go?
Christine wrote, I mean, our anonymous source dropped off in an unmarked envelope on our doorstep. So we're gonna go. We'll have a counter up to see who laughs the most.
And I don't know who these gentlemen are. Actually, David and Seth are with Spoken Gospel is the website, or is the website, is the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in learning more about them, it's a pretty big YouTube channel too, 628,000 subscribers. So that's pretty big. But let's go with the jokes. Here we go.
And should we do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first?
Yes.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, you win. There it is. Never go paper. All right, I'm ready.
Do you need to build a boat? Because I know a guy. He's an architect.
Wow, that's cheating right there. And a Don't Laugh challenge.
Got him.
It's not making me laugh with your laugh. All right. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Why is Christianity the most dramatic religion?
Why?
Because other religions say do. But Christianity says dun, dun, dun. That's a laugh.
I don't even get that one. Somebody maybe can explain that to me. About I didn't grow up in like the church or anything, so I don't know if there's something cultural that I'm missing out on.
That's a good one.
That's really good.
That's a good one. All right, you're up.
Okay. Did you know that Jesus is divine?
I did.
And we are the branches. It's fine, fine. I'll leave it alone.
I'm not giving you another one.
Sorry, I went on a limb on that one.
How many multi-tiered jokes do you have?
I got layers and layers.
You
and
do.
Layers.
All right. So this is a good question here. Do you know what kind of pork people ate in the Old Testament? Abraham.
That one was pretty cringe. Abraham.
Go for it.
Okay. Do you know how you settle church disputes?
How?
With cannons.
That's a good one. Okay, so we've been doing the podcast in Daniel,
That's right.
lately,
Yeah.
and we were
Oh, here comes. This is topical too. This is the subject I covered last week on Life in the Hive. They'll be released out in CryptoCorner, actually.
going through it. Nebuchadnezzar's dream, I think we can both agree, was
I'm
pretty
talking about-
confusing.
Right.
But his second dream really stumped him.
Because in his second dream, he dreamed he was the tree that got cut down, or he dreamed about a tree that got cut down, and then Daniel told him that, or which prophet told him? Which prophet told? No, it was Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel. Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar had the dream about the tree, and then Daniel interpreted it for it. Yeah, there we go.
I figured you'd like that one.
I like that. Okay. How did Delilah get into Samson's house? She picked his locks.
I get it.
You got it.
I
You
get
got it.
I
You
get
didn't
that one.
laugh.
I didn't
You
laugh.
got it.
I get that
Okay.
one.
I did laugh at that one. I just listened to the first 2 or 3 of these before I decided that, yeah, I love dad jokes. So this is going to be.
Did Eve ever have a date with Adam? No, just an apple.
Dang it! I keep laughing. I forget that it's competition, and I just want to start laughing.
I mean, they're funny.
Yeah, I'm not
funny.
trying not to
Okay,
laugh.
you're
I'm
right.
echoing.
Believing only 12.5% of the Bible makes you an atheist.
That one like deserves a laugh because it's so well written. An atheist. That joke has layers in itself. I like that. I wouldn't think I would laugh at a math joke. That's pretty good.
You got it.
Okay, who was the most business savvy woman in the Bible?
I have no idea.
It was Pharaoh's daughter. She went down to the bank of the Nile and pulled out a little profit.
No, too late. I restrained myself. Too late. Okay. I heard that Paul lost his eyesight in the Bible
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
because he never saw Jesus.
Yeah, I turned it up because this guy, the one I got a pause on, that one joke he told earlier on was like super soft and I couldn't hear it. So I turned it up. I turned it back down now. So my mic shouldn't be picking it up anymore. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Coming. It's kind of appalling when you think about it.
Oh, that was a Paul joke. Hold on.
Because he never. That Paul lost his eyesight in the Bible.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Because he never saw Jesus coming. It's kind of appalling when you think about it.
The second one,
He never
it's
saw
like
it
the
coming.
extra right hook.
It was
It's not
appalling.
fair. It's appalling.
It's appalling when you think
I thought you
about
were
it.
legitimately done.
Oh no!
I thought you were like, because his name was Paul. I thought you were gonna like,
Yeah.
but that was more joke.
No more joke.
Hey, knock knock.
Who's there? I'm so nervous.
Enoch.
Enoch who?
He was not. I guess he's gone or something.
I don't know if I get it, or
'Cause-
and I'm not laughing, or if I haven't got it yet.
Because he
He
went away with God. So
Yeah.
you knock and he's not there. Nope.
I win this round.
All right, fine. That one didn't work.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Who's the best character in the Bible?
Jesus.
Wrong.
Oh.
No.
A trick question.
A trick question.
Okay. Give it. Do it again. Do it again.
Who's the best character in the Bible? Noah. He has the best arc.
Oh, that's good. It's a
good.
literary joke.
It's a literary joke
It's
because
a
he's a
story arc.
character. arc.
He does have a good character arc. Hey, can I tell you another knock knock joke?
Sure.
Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
Jay.
Jay who?
Okay,
hold on. Don't start just like naming kings of Israel, trying to show off to our audience here. Jehu. Come on, that's just.
I remember Jehu. I remember listening to Junk Shop Library going on, and they were like Jehu. And they went on a little bit about it. Anyway, it was funny. It was funny to me.
It's such a niche joke that I'm embarrassed for laughing. Okay. Do you remember how Lot's wife felt about leaving Sodom?
Oh no, I'm not ready for this.
She felt salty.
Okay, I can bear that one. I can bear that one.
All right. I'm gonna stop this there because this goes on for another 10 minutes or so. So anyway, that was just some cringy Bible jokes there at the end, just for some fun. This was just an interesting look at the comedy that's out there for Christians. Some good, some bad. Anyway, we are going to do some HiveScience here real quick. And I actually have 3 things to look at here. So I know we're running kind of late on the show. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, and usually I try to keep it under that, but we might go just a little bit over today. It's like my viewers dropped down with the comment section, so I don't know if that really was something that was working. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Yeah, it was a little bit cringy. I think I drove some people away. I think maybe it was the gaffer guy, Mark, I think was his name. Yeah. Anyway, I think it was him, but who knows? These dad jokes were pretty cringe too. Yes, thank you, Phoebe. Yes, it was a cringe alert. Cringe alert. Yeah, Moses had a devastating arc too, if you think about it. Oh, did I drive you here with my cringe content, looking at Christian dad jokes? Well, check this out, Phoebe. You'll like this. Hold on. Let me bring this up. We are going to share a glimpse inside a gecko's hand. This won the 2022 Nikon Small World Photo Contest. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? See all the little bits and pieces. There's little claws, toe pads. Look at all the joints and phalanges. There's the carpals up here. You can see the circulatory system, the blue. Amazing photography. This image of the hand of an embryonic Madagascar giant day gecko shown at 63 times magnification displays cyan-colored nerve cells. Sorry, I called those veins. They were nerve cells. Collagen appears yellow to orange. Yeah, isn't that so awesome? Life is beautiful at all scales, but from big to small, sometimes this splendor is concealed beneath literal scales. A mesmerizing peek below the developing scales of the hand of an embryonic Madagascar giant day gecko, Phelsuma grandis, won first place in the 2022 Nikon Small World Photo Micrography Competition. Microphotography. No, photo micrography. I'm not familiar with that word. This is like when you look down and then deep too. The winning image, stitched together from hundreds of images taken over 2 days with a confocal microscope, was crafted by University of Geneva researcher Grigory Timin and Michael Milinkovich. The pair study the genetics of physics of embryonic development, the genetics and physics of embryonic development. The hand is artificially colored to show budding nerves in cyan and structures containing collagen in a range of orange and yellow. Collagen is a building block of life, says Milinkovic. Knowing where collagen can help researchers better understand how bodies and tissue develop. Take a drink here. Parts of bones that have started to calcify shine brightest in the image, Timmons says. Developing tendons and ligaments stretch as orange branches. Blood cells from clusters or lines are lined up inside new blood vessels at the tips of the gecko's digits. Image highlights beauty in all sizes, Milinkovic says. The snapshot is beautiful as a hand. You see this beautiful pattern in the fingers. Then you zoom, you see spongy bones, and then you zoom and you see the tendons, and you zoom and you see the fibers that forms the tendons. Then you zoom and you see the blood cells. The gecko photo is one of 92 incredible images recognized in this year's competition. The winner of the 48th annual competition were announced October 11th. Here are some of our favorites. Yeah, so then it goes, shows some different stuff. This muscle-like cells, colored yellow and magenta, wrapped around the milk, producing structures of the breast. So this is cells in the breast. We got snuffed candle. So that's a candle. That's like the wick sticking out of a candle. Iridescent slime mold. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. It's a slime mold. Ah, here's what we're talking about. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm saving that. You will be wallpaper on my phone. That's not where we wanted to go. Saving it. There's photo shoot. There we are. Tiger beetle. Magnified 3.7 times. Holds fly prey under its chin, making depressions in the fly's eyes. That is vicious. Look at that. Just snap. Just those jaws of tiger beetles are awesome. I used to have a tiger beetle. They didn't live very long, though. I don't know. It was always running. It never stopped running around. It just like ran itself to death. All fear the predaceous tiger beetle, especially this poor fly. Murat Öztürk of Ankara, Turkey, nabbed 10th place this year in this competition with an astounding and unnerving snapshot of a tiger beetle using its mandible to crush a fly by its eyes. That is totally badass. Tiger beetle sprints after their prey so quickly that the insects go temporarily blind. The photographed beetle would have stopped multiple times to orient itself to figure out where the fly was, eventually snatching its meal. Thanks to the beetle's strong, sharp jaws, the chances of survival of the creature caught by this insect are very low. Pretty wicked there. Coral close-up. Coral right there. It's a single coral polyp. Magnified 20 times. Yeah, those are just some choice examples, but there is, and I will put this in the description of, or in the description of the video when I cut this out for HiveScience here in a couple weeks. We will have a link to the contest right here, so you can go see all the winners and and you can go out and see everybody who submitted a photo. As far as this goes, I'm going to go into this document and read that sometime here in the future. So if you want to know more about tiger beetle hunting behavior, go check that out. All right, the next section of HiveScience news comes from Science News. So HiveScience News meets Science News. Losing amphibians may be tied to spikes in human malaria cases. Missing frogs and other animals may have led to more mosquitoes, which can transmit the disease. In the 1990s and 2000s, Costa Rica and Panama experienced a spike in malaria cases. There goes my throat again. Where was I? The massive loss of amphibians in the region from deadly fungal disease may have contributed to the uptick of this human disease. The spread of a fungal disease, I'm going to try this word, so bear with me. Chytridiomycosis. I think I said it right the first time. Chytridiomycosis. Yeah. Was a slow motion disaster leading to a decade-long wave of amphibian declines globally. From 1980s to the 2000s, the wave moved from northwest to southeast across Costa Rica, Panama, hitting different places at different times. An analysis of local ecological surveys, public health records, and satellite data suggest a link between the amphibian die-off and the increase in human malaria cases. As the wave passes through, researchers reported in October's environmental research letter. So this is new information, new research being released, teasing out ways that biodiversity loss ripples through ecosystem and affects humans, can help make a case for preventative action in the face of other ecological threats, says Michael Springborn, an environmental economist at the University of California, Davis. On average, each country or each county in Costa Rica and Panama I need to put my glasses on. I'm having trouble reading this stuff. I think I stole my purse, though. I'm not going to go grab them right now because I'm almost done with the show. So sorry if I keep rereading this. On average, each country, I said country again, on average, each county in Costa Rica and Panama had 0.8 to 1.1 additional cases of malaria per 1,000 people per year for about 6 years. Beginning a couple of years after the amphibian loss, Springborn and his colleagues found. Other research suggests that amphibians serve as an important check on mosquitoes' population. Amphibian larvae eat mosquito larvae, and the animals compete with each other for resources such as places to live. So the missing frogs, toads, and salamanders may have led to more mosquitoes and potentially more malaria transmission. But it's unclear whether mosquito populations actually increased during this time. Springborn says because the data doesn't exist. Chytridiomycosis caused by fungus Batrachochytrium dendrobatidis. Let's break that down. Batrach is frog. Batrachus means frog. Covers frogs and toads. So batrachian is frog-like. It used to be a more common term, but you don't hear too much about batrachian anymore, but it means frog-like. So Batrachochytrium. I'm not sure what chytrium means. I think that it's just a reference to this type of pathogen. Chytrium is the grouping for this fungus. So frog fungus. Dendrobatidis. Dendro generally associates with trees. And batidis. I'm not sure about batidis. If anybody knows, let me know. All right. Has led to the largest recorded loss of biodiversity due to a disease. It's caused the decline of at least 500 species globally. 90 of those species are presumed extinct. Frogs and toads in the Americas and Australia have suffered the greatest decline. The international trade in amphibians has spread the fungus globally. Springborn and his colleagues wonder if the impact of the amphibian loss stretched to humans too. The researchers turned to Costa Rica and Panama, where the fungus moved through the ecosystem in a somewhat uniformed way along the narrow strip of land on which the two countries sit. Springborn says this meant that the researchers could work out where the fungus arrived at a given place. The team also looked at the number of malaria cases in those places before and after the amphibians died off. In the first couple of years after the animals declined, malaria cases started to rise. For the following 6 years or so, cases remained elevated and then started to go down again. The researchers aren't sure yet what was behind the eventual drop. Studies on the connection between biodiversity loss and human health might help motivate conservationists by highlighting the direct benefit of the conservation to human well-being, says Hillary Young, a community ecologist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, who was not involved with the work. Humans are causing wildlife to be lost at a rate similar to that of other major extinction events, she said. We are increasingly aware that these losses can have major impacts on human health and well-being, and in particular on risk of infectious diseases. And you can give feedback if you want to. Feedback Science News. This was written by Amy Cunningham, is a biomedical writer. She has a master's degree in science journalism from the University of New York. And this is a good point, what she says here at the end with this. Hillary Young says about protecting the environment. People always ask me because I'm an environmental activist, people always ask me, like, why we put the environment before human prospering? Because on the long, and I say, because on the long term, human prospering is dependent on the environment. Things like this prove that. We throw even the smallest thing out of balance, or something shifts, it changes everything for how the environment interacts with us. Suddenly we have malaria carrying mosquitoes in droves targeting us. So yeah, they still spray mosquitoes here too. I took a video of myself screaming at them, and my ex-wife and my daughter were embarrassed by it because I was out in the street yelling at them that they were killing all my bugs. Because they would drive by with their big fog trucks, and a few minutes later things start falling out of the trees. Anyway, yeah, I won't go too much into detail on that, but yeah, that was live from the Hive news for you this morning. I do have some other topics to cover, but I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and just save the next topic on the agenda for next week. This is 2 hours and 13 minutes right now. It's a good long show. People are starting to bounce out and head out because, usually I'm wrapping up about 11:30. So if nobody has any additional questions, please remember to be kind and take care. And I'll see you next week, okay? Thanks for stopping in.